Hey, good morning, everyone. I'm going to give it a couple more minutes to let people join, and then we'll kick things off. All right, well, let's get started. I'm Kenneth Gleason, Senior Product Manager for HighWire. We're going to be talking about our newest product, Origins, and we're going to be discussing efficiencies that you can add to your growing journal program. I am going to be handling the questions as well as the presentation, so I'll be looking at questions at the end, so feel free to type them in. If I don't get to your question, my email will be at the bottom of the or the end of the presentation. You are free to send me an email, so please feel free to ask any questions you may have via email or via the chat. All right, so let's kick things off. Origins, HighWire's newest product, is a multi-journal publishing platform that allows you to have multiple journals on a single site. The design around Origins was really built around efficiency so that you can manage a larger collection of journals simultaneously, as well as release new features and products integrations across all of your journals in Origins at the same time, rather than having to need to go through each individual journal, release new features, make design changes, things of that nature. Really the focus we want for you to have is to be looking at how you can grow your journals program and spending less time on sort of like the management of the collections and sort of the look and feel. So Origins is really designed around that philosophy of giving you more time to spend and grow your program. Origins is really designed for publishers who have a collection of journals within a similar business use case. We can support a wide variety of journals. We also support a mixture of publications. So if you have a high impact journal and a group of or a subset of journals that all fall into the same category, you can have a mixture of JCore as a standalone as well as Origins with the collection of publications. Also, publishers with a strong branding who may have a number of journals that need a lot of features to do cross-management, again, release new features and integrations simultaneously with one foul swoop rather than having to go through individual sites. So we'll go through on the design philosophy of Origins how the publisher brand has a very distinct feel across the site, and then each journal has a sub-brand. So it really does well for publishers who have that strong brand. So we heard a lot of requests in the marketplace as well as from our publishers who are part of the HighWire family. A lot of the discussion was around allowing for new publishing options, really to maximize the impact of the content. We've had a number of publishers who are looking at different types of journals or acquiring new titles. And Origins offers a way to launch journals more quickly, as well as launch a number of journals simultaneously. It also allows you to, or by request, we heard that features and integrations as a one-time fix rather than having to go to individual journals actually allows you to, oh, pardon me, hit the keypad too fast. New features and integrations allow you to deploy features quickly. And we also want to be able to launch journals more efficiently so that, as again, if you're launching different titles or newly acquired titles, open access journals, things like that, you'll have an option to be able to do that. All right. Origins is designed with efficiency in mind, and the goal is to reduce traditional overhead and implementation details and decisions. And when you launch new journals within their own site, they tend to be dragged down by things like what is the design going to be, how are the fonts going to be, all the colors, things like that, as well as how are we going to start ingesting the content. With Origins, you have a predefined site that's organized for you as a publisher, so when you launch new titles, we can do it more efficiently by incorporating the journal into the site that you have. All right, I'm just getting note, so I am going to go back to sharing. And I hope you can all see my screen now. Apologies. I will jump back here. Okay. It looks like we're all good now. So here's where we left off, and I was discussing the request from our publishers. So far we have only seen slides around the descriptions I'm going to, so I'll continue on, but you'll see more of Origins as we go. Again, Origins is designed around efficiency. The goal is to reduce traditional overhead and implementation details so that you can launch journals more efficiently and quickly. You'll also be able to release new features and integrations simultaneously, as well as launch newly acquired titles and unproven journals and open access titles. We hear a lot of buzz around creating open access journals, and there's questions around the cost-benefit analysis. And Origins offers you a way to quickly launch new journals and open access titles right into your journals program without having to go through the whole process of getting all the sites set up and the content flow set up and things like that. So it'll allow you to launch much more quickly than in a JCore standalone experience. Origins is built on the HighWire Intelligent Platform. The HighWire Intelligent Platform is something we've been working on for the last 18 months, and it's designed around a really core feature set and that we can leverage across all of our product range. So it is the foundation of all our products and allows us to share and create new features across all products. And it's really, really efficient. So if we look at our uptime, we're actually leading the industry in publishing, as well as leading some of the largest service companies in the world. So our average is 99.97, and in some cases we're exceeding that, but we have not gone below that each year. So what this means for you is whether you're on Origins or using other products on the HighWire Intelligent Platform, that your content is always going to be readily available and allows you to get more readership, as well as maintain more and receive more revenue through ad sales and ad placement, because the uptime is significantly better than other platforms in our industry. Also, our average page load time is 3 times faster than the industry. We're looking at 0.8 seconds to load the page, and this is a really crucial component to the HighWire Intelligent Platform, as well as to SEO. Anytime you have a slow loading page, your abandonment rate skyrockets. So we really spend a lot of time focusing on page load times and up times to optimize for your content. We also receive 200 million key activities per month on the HighWire Intelligent Platform. And you can see these numbers that our intelligent platform is scalable and allows you to grow even with a huge amount of key activities we're having. We're still maintaining a 99.97% uptime. Origins also offers all the complementary products and features from HighWire. As again, with the HighWire Intelligent Platform, we're able to integrate our core products like Bench Press, Custom Collection Toolkit, Direct Publishing, Intelligent Platform, Intelligent Commerce, Impact Visor, and Usage Visor. So we can implement all these types of products so that you can grow your journal program a la carte. So if you want to start off with an Origins, and then you want to move an Origins specific journal into a JCore, we can very easily do that for you. And so it's a fluid experience on the HighWire Intelligent Platform. So if you want to get more statistics about how your journal program's going, we have our Visor programs. If you want to start monetizing content, we can add Intelligent Commerce. So we have a full-fledged feature set with the Intelligent Platform for all of your journals. The great thing about Origins is we also offer all the features and integrations available to JCore. Origins and JCore share the same code base. They share the same feature sets and integration. So anything you can do on JCore, which is we have hundreds and hundreds of features available, you can add to Origins. So any sort of integration or feature set. And if you look at our partners, this is only a small subset of the partners that we support. We have a wide variety of integrations. We're constantly looking at new partnerships and new integrations as the market changes, and it's changing more quickly as we can see. And we're adding new aspects to really help your journal program grow and change with the market. So we are very excited about our journals partnerships, and we love creating those new partnerships so that you can show off your new content. So any emerging new partnerships that you come up with, we're always looking forward to investigating. So I'm going to walk through the Origins design highlights. For those of you that are familiar with our JCore platform, you'll see a consistent theme, and I'll talk through that. The reason we based a lot of what we have on JCore for Origins is because of the amount of research we did around readership, administration, and also publishing. So the first page that we have on Origins is your publisher landing page. So when you go to the URL for your Origins site, for example, origins.highwire.org, which we own, you'll land on a publisher branded page. So you'll see the header, which has the publisher branding. You'll see the menu bar for the publisher, as well as a search and access to advanced search. This header is going to be a consistent theme throughout the journal experience. So it'll be your brand, your publisher brand, and this is where it goes into the prominent branding for the publisher. We offer full advertising capabilities, so we can have advertisements on the sidebar. We can have skyscrapers, as you see. We can have the billboard style ads. You have a full ad experience. This is a default journal layout where we have our slideshow, and then we're going to highlight the most recent issues that are published within Origins. Now, again, this is the default layout, whereas with Origins and JCore, you have the ability to customize the layout of your journals or Origins homepage, as well as customize the look and feel of your journals. So so next we'll go over to a journal table of contents. So our table of contents retains that prominent publisher branding. It also has a subheader for the journal page, as well as a navigation bar for the journal-specific pages. Now, each journal allows you to have a custom logo, a custom menu bar, meaning that you can customize the links to fit that journal's needs. But then you'll have a consistent layout throughout your journals. So the table of contents will look similar throughout. The sidebar modules, like in this issue, or the jump to, or the about the cover, we can set up specifically for your publications. But as you go through and navigate, this will have a consistent theme throughout. And this is really the benefit of Origins. So if you want to, say, highlight the latest issue on the top and then have your jump to section right underneath it, we can make those changes, and as we make the changes, you'll be able to see that propagate across all sites at the same time, or all journals at the same time. This is hugely beneficial. You don't have to go to individual journals to make the changes, and it's really designed around these efficiencies. While JCore, on the other hand, allows you to have journal-specific layouts per journal, where Origins has a single unified layout that you can customize all at the same time. So looking at an article page, you see the consistent header and branding. So you're going to have the branding retained, and then you're going to also have the journal header information and logo and menus consistent across that specific journal. So we went from there, from the table of contents, now to the article page. And as we've reached the article page, you've seen the consistency, and this is what an article would look like for each of the articles within your origin site. It'll retain that journal sub-branding and then have the article layout, which is consistent. We used our standard JCore 2-column layout. This was based on research we did in 2013 when we built JCore, and then we're consistently continuing in the interviews that we did around how researchers engage with the articles. And they really are optimized for that reading experience. And we have found through our consistent studies that this is the most optimal layout for the reading experience. We also used our tab layout, the article, figures, and data, and info and metrics. This tab layout has been crucial for allowing readership, and because some readers, and actually a large majority, will go straight to the figures and data just so they can understand what the article is about. And then they'll flip back over to the article and read the text. As we've seen, this allowing our readers to easily navigate to specific sections of the article has been a crucial component of the success of JCore, and why we've seen a more than 20% increase in traffic since we moved from our classic platform into JCore. So we continued this design process and actually streamlined the origins a bit to actually highlight some of the most used features within origins. So we're really working off 20 years of experience here at HighWire. We've been doing user research the entire time, and that goes from administration to readers to high-level publisher business plans. But when it comes to reading, we really use user-centric design. We started, as I mentioned, with community and reader interviews. This was a large component of how we designed JCore, but we continued the process to define how we developed origins, because we've had now 5 years experience with JCore, and what we wanted to do is take some of the improvements we've seen and that we've made to JCore and include them into origins. So the way we've done that is actually in the top right-hand corner. We've started using heat maps to highlight how users are actually engaging with the page. This has been a crucial part of how we designed origins. We noticed that a number of the sections within the page were not used as heavily as other sections. So we took a look at the search, the menu bar, the current issue, and how people are engaging with it. And then we really brought up the information to the highest level to see how people are engaging and make sure that the most important components are the top components on the page. We also use Google Analytics, as you can see below. Google Analytics has helped us greatly with our design process, because we can see how people are engaging with the journals, which pages are getting the most traffic, and what is the most important aspects of the sites. We really streamlined origins around that, so there were some pages that weren't getting as much attention, and we wanted to provide an optimal experience, especially where you have a collection of journals. Now, with a collection of journals in a single site, you want a more streamlined experience so that you can access the content very quickly. And we really wanted to narrow down the number of pages so that it's optimized for traffic and discovery. We also do monthly meetings with Google. And this is something we've been doing since the advent of Google Scholar. And it's the reason this was very vastly important is because the discovery landscape has changed so significantly, and it's continuing to move faster and faster as new devices come out, and how people interact with Google and other search engines is changing. And meeting with Google every month, we learn new things, but we can also, through our partnership with Google, we create new protocols and ways for people to engage with the content. For instance, HighWire was the first ones to define the set of indexing meta tags for Google Scholar. And in our current partnership, campus activated subscription access allows, with a partnership with Google, allows researchers to access content offline by using auto credentials rather than having to sign in through a VPN. So we're consistently working with Google, and that's been a crucial part of our success and why we're leading the industry in discovery. We also use our internal reporting tools to verify, and the internal reporting tools and the logs are our backbone, so we can actually look and compare for Google Analytics, which is more trend-based, as well as heat maps, where we can get a snapshot of how users are interacting over a period of time to compare and contrast. And that way, we actually use all that around our user-centric design. So we have all the data to back up the community and reader interviews. So this is a big part of our daily activities at HighWire, and we're making very data-driven designs for our intelligent platform products. To give you an idea of what we've done with the user-centric design, again, we maintain this JCore design philosophy, but we really started focusing on bringing the content above the fold, meaning content is starts, or the abstract starts before you have to scroll to see the page. And the reason this is that Google actually has brought this up as a criteria because they believe that websites should have the content as the most prominent information. So we have started focusing our designs on putting the content above the fold. And as we bring on new publishers, we really do a design consultancy so that we can provide you an optimal indexing experience with your design. We also brought a large PDF download icon up to the top. Vastly important, one of the highest used features on the journal article, so we wanted to make it readily available. We've also brought up the tools locations, and this was specifically around the heat map interactions that we saw. As you bring the sections that are most used higher, you're going to get more engagement on the page, because really the user will start interacting and spend most of their time on the top of the page. So having this jump list and having the article tools, the two most used section on the page at the highest part of the article, is a great way to allow your readers to more quickly engage with the article. So let's look at the key differences between Origins and JCore. Origins is a single site with multiple journals. It's publisher-centric branding. It's going to have similar use cases across our journals. You're going to have a uniform feature set, meaning that if you want alt metrics on your journals, all of your journals, we can release it all at the same time. But you also have the option to release the feature to all journals, but only have all metrics on a single journal, meaning that you'll have it displaying on the journal, but you have the option to add an alt metrics account for the rest of your journals. And that's the way all our features will work our integrations will work. So you can release to all the journals and only display on one, but or you can display it on all of them. You also have self-service features across a collection of journals, and you'll have a more granular permission so that editors and administrators within a specific journal will only have access to their journal, and you also have a publisher administrator that can go into the publisher level as well as make changes, site design changes to the individual journals within the Origin site. While JCore has a unique journal, unique site for each journal, you're going to have your own domain name for your JCore. It's going to have journal-centric branding rather than that overarching publisher branding. It really does fit best with a unique use case or a higher impact journal. So it's really you want to highlight that journal specific. You can have both of JCore and Origins, and we think this is a great way to publish your journals and your program, because with your high impact journal, you can have that standalone experience. And then if you have a collection of journals, may it be open access or smaller titles or lower impact, and you want them within a collection within your publisher name, you can have that collection on Origins. And again, if you ever want to pull out a journal after it's increased exposure, for example, if you launched an open access journal on Origins and now it's really doing well in the market, we can then migrate it over to a JCore experience for you where you have that full branding. So you're not locked into a single experience. Because it's on the HighWire Intelligent platform, we can actually move and migrate the journals between different products. Which is very exciting because we have seen titles really expand and grow over time, and we need that unique look and feel that JCore can offer. So let's talk about the self-service options in JCore, and if you are in Origins. So if you're a JCore publisher right now, you may recognize the tools that I'm going to show you. We leverage the same self-service tools that allow you to actually manage your pages and publishing or your journal content. And again, the key here with Origins, and the real difference is that Origins allows you to have granular permission across the journals. So although they're within the same site, administrators and editors specifically assigned to a journal will only be able to access and change that journal. And I mentioned that because there's questions around that as making sure that editors can't go across a journal they're not supposed to manage and access. So we have built in those granular permissions for you. When you log in, and let's say I'm a journal editor for our HighWire Journal of Physical Therapy, you can go to you'll log in, and the first thing you'll see at the top of the page is our navigation bar that allows you to navigate through different sections of the page and make edits. And it allows you to access menus, snippets, node queues, all different types of Drupal terms that I'll be walking through in a second. And you can manage all these sections through self-service tools. So looking at the site menu, we have a full menu tree that we have. You can see here, I'm dropping down to see the articles. And from a self-service perspective, you have the ability to drag and drop different sections within the menu. And you can even nest items. So if you wanted to add, for example, we see articles, we see current issue, ahead of print, and they're nested within each other. So that articles will drop down, and then you'll see current issues and ahead of print. So then you can also have submenus within that, within submenus. So you have full control over your menus. So as you add new pages or create new content, you can then highlight it in the menu. An example of what you may want to add to a menu is advanced pages. Advanced pages allow you to add the new pages, for example, instructions for authors to your journal, and you'll have a full WYSIWYG experience for creating those pages. Now, each journal within Origins can have their own set of advanced pages. So as we know each journal has its own unique set of information, and we wanted you as a publisher to be able to add new pages. So for instance, if there's a very custom instructions for authors for one journal, they can have that set within their journal area, and then other publishers can add additional pages as they see, or other journals can add additional pages as they see fit. So those pages will be available within that specific journal. So looking at our editing tools for advanced pages, a fair amount of our tool have a WYSIWYG experience, so that you can edit and make changes very easily. So you don't need any code. Although if you do want to code, we have our source box so that you can put your code in and then create the page that way. So I wanted to do a quick recap before we dive into questions. And if you want, you feel free to ping me. I can show you the first slides I went through. And if you would like, I can do that also. But let's do a quick recap. All right. So with Origins, you're going to have that publisher-centric branding. Think of it as an umbrella across all of your publications within Origins. Each journal will have its own sub-branding and navigation. So you'll have to be able to add a journal title, logo, navigation, advanced pages, and all that, and information like that. It's also worth noting that you have the ability for each journal to publish in different ways. And what I mean there is, if one of your journals has continuous publication and another one of your journals has published by issue, you can publish both within Origins. You can have both journals. So you have the option to actually publish in multiple options, the same as what you would have in JCore. And we know that journals are now moving towards more of a continuous publication model, so we wanted to support both the issue and continuous publication. We also have publish ahead of print. So if you have publish ahead of print and by issue, we'll also support all three of those cases. So we can very easily support that. We even support meeting abstracts within our Origin site. So you have a wide variety of ways to publish content within Origins. You can simultaneously release new features and integrations across all journals. This was one of the #1 things we heard from our publishers in the market, especially when they want to release integrations across all of their publications at the same time. For instance, we had publishers who wanted to add the TrendMD widget to multiple publications at the same time. And this model within Origins allows you to do that because it has an umbrella site with journals within that site. It has integrated self-service features so that you can really manage at a granular level different sections of the journal pages, as well as you can manage the publisher landing page, the content carousel, about information, things like that. You have full control over changing up your content, making new pages, adding to your menus, things like that. You have the options for all of JCore's third-party tools and features and integrations. You also have the ability to add new HighWire products that are from the HighWire Intelligent platform as you go. For example, if you want to do peer review through direct publishing, through BenchPress, our peer review tool, or if you want to add blog posts from using our direct publishing tools, or if you want to get more insight into your publishing program and how well it's doing, how rejected articles from your publications are behaving, you could implement our advisor program. So we have all the options available to you from our HighWire product set. We have full publishing options that I mentioned before: continuous publication, publish ahead of print, meeting abstracts by issues, You can make sure you can publish all those options. And we also have all the monetization tools that you know in JCore, which is we have our advertising tools, we have our membership integrations through SSO, we have our intelligent commerce for doing e-commerce, and we're even releasing a brand new e-commerce self-service tool that'll provide a really great way to update prices, add new prices, add new features, things like that, that allow you to really own your self-service or your e-commerce program within your HighWire journals. All right, so thank you for joining. I'm open for questions. I have my email address right there, kgleason at highwirepress.com. Again, that's KGLEASON at highwirepress.com. Please feel free to send me an email. If you're working with one of our wonderful sales reps, please feel free to copy them on any emails, and that way that we can stay in correspondence. But we're very excited about Origins. We're actually implementing our first Origins right now, so you'll be seeing one come onto the market in the next couple of months, and we're very excited about that. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask now in the question box. And while I'm looking for questions, I will actually show you the first slides, since we weren't able to see them the first time around. So here's where we talked about the benefits of Origins. Oops. And this is a recap of the publishers who will benefit from Origins, where we have a collection of journals, a mixture of publications from high impact to a collection within Origins, and also publishers who have a strong brand and that overarching umbrella feel. All right, so I think that wraps things up. Apologies for the issue with sharing the screen. It looks like it had just cut off right before I started. But if you have any questions, feel free to email me or discuss with your sales representative, and we'll be glad to help you out. We're very excited about Origins, and we're really looking forward to launching new Origins sites within 2018. All right, thanks everyone.